episode of the fucking awesome game review show. I am Nick Silveranato, and today's game we're reviewing is InFamous Second Son for the PS4. Now, my time of owning a PS4 might have been brief, but I did manage to play at least 2 games on it before I decided that the PS4 is not something I need right now, and ended up selling it because I also had some other expenses to take care of, and the PS4 at the time was not helping that. Well, the other game I played was the Final Fantasy Realm Reborn, and I didn't really play enough of that to warrant an actual review, so unfortunately I'm still stuck with that game. I mean, I have no PS4, but I'm stuck with a PS4 game. That is weird. But nevertheless, I did manage to get a hold of one of the bigger exclusives for the PS4 at the time, Second Son, and well, might as well do a review of it, because what the hell. Second Son takes place 7 years after the previous game. Conduits are now known as bioterrorists and are locked up in high security facilities to keep the public safe. As a truck carrying 3 conduits passes through the InFamous reservation, it crashes and they escape. As Delson tries to help one of the conduits out of the wreckage, he absorbs his power. After he tracks down and battles a conduit, Hank, a government agent named Augustine, also a conduit, traps Hank and tortures the tribe for information. I actually have to give Sucker Punch and Sony props on the Augustine character, because you really, honestly, you play this game, you're not gonna like that bitch. I mean, they got her pretty good. They just got that smug look on her fucking face, and that attitude she has. That I'm an important government power person and you're all gonna be my bitch or something like that. I mean, as far as characters in the game go, that was I think she was one of the most developed ones, because they really made you just not like her. I mean, did you see that look on her face? Did you see that fucking look on her face? It's just like you want to choke that bitch. You really do. You want to just grab her and but you really shouldn't do that to women unless they have like evil powers and trying to kill you with them. Then all the InFamous are poisoned with concrete attached to them, Augustine's power. Delson decides to go to Seattle to track down Augustine, get her powers, and heal the tribe members. InFamous plays like the last 2 games in the series. There's very little difference in the controls and gameplay other than the game taking advantage of the small touchpad in the middle, though I will say the use of the touchpad does add a bit of innovation to the gameplay. It actually was kind of cool to do that, one of the few things they actually added to the game. But like, you have a little touchpad on the PS4 controller, and when you want to lift stuff up, you like you like hold it up with your thumb, whatever, and then when you're holding the thing up, you're using it to bash things or whatever, like I showed in the video there. But like another cool thing I thought about was it actually also acts as a kind of like a speaker. So when you get calls on your cell phone, the ringtone comes out of the remote. I thought that was pretty cool, and a neat little Easter egg in it is the ringtone you hear is actually the theme from Sly Cooper. It's cool. Like it's kind of cool because you get you hear at first I'm sitting there playing like this sounds familiar. What the hell is this? And then you find out it's actually the Sly Cooper theme. And I thought it was actually pretty cool that they did that. Also, they do take advantage of the motion control sort of. When you gotta when you do get to the part where you can spray paint stuff, you get the areas and spray paint murals, whatever, and you can shake the remote, and you actually hear the rattling sound come out of the remote. It's pretty cool. I mean, you hit it, and then you can move it around like this, like you're spray painting the wall and shit. It's kind of neat. Other than that, you still basically have the same game. As you play, you find ways to increase your powers and get new abilities by absorbing blast shards. Also like the last game, you can free areas by wiping out the DUPs and making that area safe for people. Yeah, unlike the first 2 games where you had the roaming gangs doing parts of the territory, this time it's the big bad branch of the government here, the DUP. I forgot what they're called. I forgot what it stood for, Department of something. I don't fucking remember. But it's yeah, they're the ones. They're like a big enemy this time, and a lot of them some of them just regular foot soldiers. Some of them actually have superpowers and stuff like that. The AI of these characters, not as, I don't want to say bad as the previous games, but a little more fair, because I remember in the first 2 games, actually only the first game, because I never actually played the second one too much, but in the first game, it's what really pissed me off about these characters is their fucking just accuracy. It's like no matter where you are, they are fucking hitting you with their bullets. I'm sitting there running up the top of a building. I'm at the like top of the tallest fucking building in the game, and they're still sitting there shooting me. And when I'm sitting there trying to shoot them, like I'm missing like all the time. All right, you might want to say, oh, that's because you're sucking with the controller and your aim, but no. The something that pissed me off about that game is when I be sitting there trying to snipe somebody, and I'm gonna like bitch about the first game here for a minute. I'm trying to snipe somebody, right? And there's like I'm watching one of the bad guys, one of the like. And they're just standing there. They don't see me. They're standing there. I'm gonna snipe them. So I got my reticle. I'm getting ready. I put the reticle on it. All of a sudden he moves. Like what? Like you can't fucking see me, but you can move now? What the hell? I mean seriously. I thought, and I would stand there for like 5 minutes and they would not move. The minute, okay, let me lower, and then he was away. It's like the AI was actually working against you on that for some reason. So that was a pain in the ass. But they kind of toned that down in this game, which some people might complain about, others might not, I don't know.
Combat can range from melee to projectiles. You can either pummel enemies up close with your weapon, a chain, or use projectiles from various absorbed powers which can range from pot shots to devastating grenade-like blasts.
Your powers this time also aren't just limited to like fire powers. And by the way, I forgot to mention earlier that when you absorb power, you press down on the little pad on the controller and you absorb the power. But it's not limited to just the fire or smoke power, whatever it is anymore. Now he gets like a neon power and then another power where you can like summon like these, where you can like teleport and stuff like that, and summon like these video angels and demons and stuff like that. It's kind of cool, but I don't know. I always thought like having electricity as a power was cooler.
Of course, the karma system returns as well. It should, since it's practically the entire basis of the series. At key points of the game's story, you can choose to do acts that are either noble or dastardly. What you choose decides what powers you can get and where the story goes from there. You can also build good or evil karma based on what you do during combat. For example, you can choose to subdue an enemy rather than kill them. Restraining them gives you good karma, while killing them nets bad karma. You can also build karma by healing injured people. The game sadly seems to follow a repetitive pattern. You gain a new power, find ways to increase it, and go forth and do what you will. The game does have a decent amount of side missions you can do to keep busy, but even then they can repeat themselves a little too often. Second Son isn't necessarily a bad game, but it doesn't do much to bring the series forward. While there are a lot of games that follow the same pattern in their respective series, InFamous doesn't seem to be one that can pull it off too well. The game is a decent distraction, but nothing to write home about.
And I kind of find that weird that there's some series, you know you're getting the same thing in each series, you know? You play the first game in the series and play the sequels, and it's basically, all the same thing, but for some reason, you still like it still feels new. And some of the games, they do the same thing, and it's like, I've done this before, I don't know. So I really wanted to like the InFamous games. I did like the first one. When I played some of the second one, I was like, this is more of the same. And then I played the third one, it's even more and more of the same. So it's like, I don't know. InFamous to me is the series that it had potential, but for some reason they didn't seem to harness it as well as they could. I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to like the series. I liked the first game, but even then I thought it was kind of like I didn't think it was all that spectacular, all that great. It was like a fun distraction, and the game, it's going to make a nice rental or a good discount bargain bin game later on down the road, but I don't know, to me it just didn't seem like a game that was worth like the price tag, $60. So, like I said, it's a pretty interesting game. It's not terrible. I mean, it's playable. It does look nice. I'm not gonna lie. The whole digital Seattle thing was a I thought pretty cool. And it's like they're actually using the real city this time instead of like a made-up one, like in the first two games. But they were based on like other cities. But yeah, it's an alright game. It's not really something you're gonna spend a lot of time on. And I kind of felt like I was forcing myself to play this at one point just to get through it. So, as good as, I don't know, like I said, I tried. I really tried to like this game, but I don't hate it. I'm not saying it's a terrible game. I mean, I know there are people that are going to like it, but it's like, it's just not really anything you haven't already seen before. So I'm going to go ahead and give this game a C-. It's a pretty, like, interesting, nice distraction, but it's like one of those games that you're going to play when you really just have nothing else to play at the time, because maybe you're just finally you're caught up with your games or whatever. It's like not really a lot else out at the time. Like when this game came out, there wasn't a lot going on with it at the time. So it's whatever. So I don't know. The conclusion at the end of the day is yours. So if you like it, fine. If you don't, I don't blame you. So this has been another episode of the fucking awesome game review show. I will see you next time.